everybody. Welcome to episode 3 of the Lucasfilm edition of the Castles, Capes, and Clones vlogcast. Today we'll be talking about Andor adding directors, a new Boba Fett comic book on the horizon, and more. We are Castles, Capes, and Clones, where we discuss everything in the Disney universe. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel, hit the bell for notifications, and do like this post, as it really does help us out. I'm Loren, and I'm here with my cousin and co-pilot, Rich. How are you?
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. You got to do a little exploration onto the
I did.
new wing of Batu.
Yeah. So downtown Disney here in California, which is outside of Disneyland and California Adventure, opened up a new Star Wars trading post in the old Rainforest Cafe building, which has been closed for like 2 years or something like that.
Yeah.
And they had a annual pass holder preview. Well, legacy annual pass holder, because they don't have annual passes anymore. That was cool. Like, they had everything kind of you would find at Galaxy's Edge, and then other Star Wars branded stuff. And I have a video on it you can view.
Yeah.
I'll link it in the thing description below.
That would be great.
But it was cool. It felt like very Star Warsy. So
yeah,
like they didn't just like, because the old, so it used to be temporarily in another store, but there was just, they threw up some shelves and put some stuff out there. But this is actually themed, so there's lots of Star Warsy props and stuff there. Ray speeders right outside the store.
Yeah.
So
Imagineering got involved with this.
Yeah. You can tell because it does look like it would have been a shop inside of Galaxy's Edge. So it's cool.
Yeah. It will look really cool from the video.
Yeah, it's fun. So
one day I'll get down there.
One day.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. Yeah, and definitely check out the video because it's a lot of fun.
Yep.
And you can hear the beep beep boop machine, as I call it, which is the machine. I heard it's a new machine.
Yeah, they didn't have it out. So what he's talking about is in Galaxy's Edge at the Droid Depot, you can build your own BB-8 unit or R2 unit droid, and you can put in these personality chips. And it used to be you just picked one, and they kind of told you what it was. Like, this is the smuggler one, or this is like the Imperial one, or whatever. But you never really got to hear it. So now they have this demo thingy. You just press a button that corresponds to the different chip, and you can hear what the droid would sound like, and they do sound all different. So at least this way, you know what you're buying before you buy it, because before you just bought it and just like hoped it sounded cool.
Now, could you actually build a droid there?
No,
I don't.
You cannot. I mean, they have like a couple pre-made droids, but I'm not sure how customizable they are, because because you always buy like R2 or BB-8 or CD from Resistance, which is made, I'm pretty sure, of the same kind of parts, but they're just specific to R2 and whatnot.
Right.
So I think you can put another chip in there, but I'm not positive.
I'm sure that you could, because why would they have those machines there if you couldn't put them in something?
No, I mean, like, they have the lightsabers. You can buy crystals and stuff still.
Right.
And blades and whatever, even though you can't build a lightsaber.
Can't you put the crystals into the legacies?
No.
Or no?
Legacy lightsabers are fixed. You cannot switch them, because that's why they are legacy lightsabers.
Oh.
So you can't have a Luke Skywalker / Rey / Anakin lightsaber with a red
Yeah.
It's always going to be blue.
Blue or white for Ahsoka.
Yeah.
All
So
that jazz.
as cool as it would be
I
to
didn't
have
know
like
that.
a yellow Darth Vader one,
Mm-hmm.
or like 2 different colors for the Maul double-bladed lightsaber.
Right.
You cannot.
That would be fun, though.
Yeah. But
yeah. All right. Well, it sounds like you had a good time.
yeah, it was fun.
Yeah. I'll see it someday. Hopefully next month, if all goes well.
Yeah. I'll see you there.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get to the news. The Andor Disney Plus series has added 2 directors, Ben Karam and Susanna White. Do you know either of these directors?
I do not.
Okay, yeah, neither do I. But I'm sure that if they're adding them, that they've got skills and talent.
I'd assume so. But yeah, I'm not really familiar.
Do we know how far they've gotten with the Andor series?
I mean, I don't know how. I mean, obviously, because they showed a whole bunch of production.
Yeah, so they've started filming for sure.
So I'm not sure, like how far along they were, or like those parts. If they filmed that prior to or when during the pandemic it was filmed, so
right.
I can imagine at some point if it was early that they stopped because things got a little more restricted.
Yeah.
So I'm not really sure how far along they are.
All right. Well, moving on. Rian Johnson's trilogy is still happening. So there was a reporter who interviewed Rian Johnson, and she tweeted out kind of what he had told her, and that it's still happening. He's just been involved in a lot of different things lately, but they're still working on it.
Yeah, a lot of people thought maybe he wasn't because he was never mentioned during the investors call.
Yeah.
And I think it's really because he's working on a trilogy and not a one-off. I think, with Patty Jenkins, they didn't say it's a series. They said it's a movie.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit easier of a sell if it's just like Patty Jenkins wants to do a fighter pilot movie. Whereas Rian Johnson, given the way he thinks and writes, I feel like he's wants to flesh out all 3 movies before he commits to whatever. So it's not going to be kind of like write one movie then figure it out later. I think he really will maybe not write out all 3 of them, but at least carefully plan out the major beats and stuff for each one so that it works well together and whatnot. And plus he's still like off of the heels of Knives Out. He's working on Knives Out too. So
right.
He said pretty much like it took him a couple years to write Knives Out, the first one, and he's got even less time to write the second one. So
you don't want to capture the excitement.
And I think Star Wars has a lot going for it right now, so it's not like they're all of a sudden like in dire need of another trilogy.
Right.
I'd rather them really take their time, and if you're going with another trilogy that then can become the next saga, if you will, that they do it right, because I think they definitely rushed the sequel trilogy, and I think it shows, and I think fan reaction kind of enforces that, right?
Yeah.
Whereas a carefully kind of planned out thing like The Mandalorian shows that people want, like Star Wars fans want content. They just want it, well done and thought out and whatever.
Yeah,
I think
we want quality content, and definitely well thought out. all that.
I mean, like, not to say like the Mandalorian was totally planned out from beginning like to the end, but like there is a little bit of thought, with two creators that work well together. It wasn't like Jon Favreau wrote episode 1 and said, "All right, go," and then other people wrote other episodes. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there was a singular vision, and then they continued with it. So that, I think Mandalorian really kind of, I don't say proved, but like, I think at some point Lucasfilm / Disney felt a little lost on what to do due to the reaction to the sequel trilogy. And I think the Mandalorian and the praise it's getting kind of reinvigorated them, but also make them take pause and be like, let's take our time and actually think this through before jumping into making a movie without a plan, which is what the sequel trilogy kind of felt like.
You could tell by the end that they just kind of slapped together the ending, and that was, they kind of said, well, let's see what all the fans want, and we'll just make an ending like that.
Yeah.
And that's what it definitely feels like, at least. Yeah. And I enjoyed the first 2 movies, but the last movie just, like, there are parts of it that I like, but a lot of parts I don't like.
Yeah. Which is fun because, like, before the third one came out, I can watch Force Awakens and Last Jedi at any given moment. For whatever reason now, it feels like, because whenever I watch one of the trilogies, I feel like I have to finish the trilogy.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me to start the sequel trilogy knowing that I'll have to watch
the third
Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah.
It's not that I hated it. It's just that, like, it just felt like a non-ending, like, not a non-ending, but like, this wasn't really a satisfying ending to the story they began in Force Awakens and turned it into a continuation of the Return of the Jedi, which, they should have left it. The Skywalker saga was the prequels and the original trilogy, and this should have been the beginning of a new generation.
Yeah.
With Rey being a thing, but they went with what they went with, and we are where we are, and we move on, and we got the Mandalorian, and then we're gonna get a whole bunch of new Star Wars stories told live action in probably a better way to tell stories. So
I think we're in a much more exciting era of Star Wars now.
Yeah. Like looking at Mandalorian, every episode feels like it's like, the budget's not as big as a major motion picture, but it doesn't feel like it's done cheaply. It feels like a feature still. So
definitely.
Got that Disney Plus money.
Yeah, I'm so glad that Disney Plus hasn't shied away from the budgets on some of these television shows, particularly the Star Wars and Marvel ones, which need bigger budgets.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah. All right, moving on. Ewan McGregor has given a update about Obi-Wan Kenobi and when they will start filming. He says that they will start in early spring in Los Angeles.
That's what's surprising. Is Los Angeles is the
not London.
But I mean, I'm assuming a lot of it's going to be volume work, kind of like The Mandalorian is.
That's what I was thinking. Is maybe they started filming some of the volume stuff.
Yeah. Given that we're still kind of in pandemic mode, it makes kind of sense. I'm surprised that they're doing it here instead of like I'm pretty sure the Mandalorian's filmed in England. Is that right? They're there? They're in Pinewood or where is Mandalorian filmed? Now I'm curious.
I don't know.
I always thought it was not here.
I think that it's in London, but I'm not sure. I actually don't know. If only there was something that could tell us.
All right.
Look that up. Look that up. You find anything?
Huh.
No?
No, it's filmed here, Los Angeles.
Oh.
In Manhattan Beach.
Well, you know, if Jon Favreau could create the jungles of India for Jungle Book all on a Los Angeles soundstage, then he probably could do that with The Mandalorian.
Yeah. I think Andor is in
Los Angeles or London.
Again, who knows?
It's amazing what they can do these days, though.
Yeah. So I guess that makes sense then that it's here then.
Mm-hmm.
So rock on. I wonder if that means like if they're sharing the same studio. You know, because
maybe
the volume's already set up at
right.
I guess the studio. Which kind of makes sense. So if they're starting in spring and they are filming season 3 now, or soon,
The Mandalorian,
something.
Mandalorian, yeah, season 3.
Because did they film Book of Boba Fett already? Then
I don't know.
I don't know the timeline on that. I know they filmed. They're either filming Book of Boba Fett now, and then they go into Mandalorian 3, or it's already done and they're in Mandalorian 3.
Yeah.
I don't know. But anyway.
I mean, you know, something, you know, it's got to be either that or they have more volume machines, which I wouldn't doubt that they would have a few by now. Given that this new piece of technology is a game changer for the entertainment industry in general. So they must have built more of these machines. And maybe they're going to, you know, have one for The Mandalorian and one for Obi-Wan. And then, you know, maybe they have enough to film around that.
So no, Mandalorian season 3 starts April.
Okay. April of this year?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that would coincide with when Ewan McGregor says that they're going to start filming.
If it takes... I don't know how long it takes to film a season.
Yeah, I don't know. A season of The Mandalorian, that is.
Yeah. So it's a month, that month or 2 months. I don't know. I don't know how long it takes to film a season.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Because it still works. We go back to back to back. To back.
To back.
To back to back.
Yeah. So it's going to be great, you know, whatever they come up with.
Indeed.
All right. Well, here's a big piece of news. Gina Carano was fired from Lucasfilm because of some heinous social media posts. And Lucasfilm has no plans of recasting her right now.
Which is a shame. Really.
Yeah.
Because, again, the character, I feel, has much more impact than the actress. Especially, you know, it's, I feel like it's still an important character.
Yeah.
In that, you know, she's a rebel shock trooper
Mm-hmm.
from Alderaan, and I think it'd be kind of cool to see what effect that had on a rebel who obviously, because of what happened to her home planet, joined a rebellion or whatever. And what do they do post Civil War and without a home planet, basically?
Right. Yeah.
And it would have been an interesting kind of story to tell. I still think they should in some fashion. If they're not going to recast her live action because whatever, you can still put her in animation or a comic book or a book, because I think the story needs to be told.
Yeah. Although they had every right to fire her because her comments were
and
not
from
good.
all accounts, it seems like they gave her several chances to course correct.
Yeah. And they didn't give that to Roseanne. And Roseanne was fired from her own show. So and they did not recast her.
No.
Yeah.
So, it's a sad turn of events for a character and for an actress that in a year ago or more than a year ago, when she was announced and then she did her first press tour, everyone kind of loved her. She was humbled, she was gracious, even in the making of The Mandalorian season 1, she was all that still. A lot of fans started before even seeing her in the show, started make their cosplay things of her, and now it's like
pariah.
It's sad that character, and you're pretty sure that Jon Favreau intended for that character to have more of a future, and might not get it.
Well, like you were saying, they recast Rhodey from Iron Man. They recast the Hulk in Marvel. Why couldn't they recast her?
Exactly.
I mean, I understand why they don't want to recast Black Panther, but she's not Black Panther. She's not
Leia yet. She's not. Even in the Harry Potter series, they recast Dumbledore.
And Dumbledore as well.
I mean, granted, Richard Harris before he died, but
right.
I the only thing that's different, I would say, is that it's recasting due to a controversy. Whereas, recasting Terrence Howard and oh my god, I always forget his name. Ed Norton.
Ed Norton.
There wasn't really they weren't fired or let go. It was more of a creative difference. Ish kind of thing, but it wasn't because one of them was transphobic and horrible. So I think that's also that big part of it. I think because of what happened, it tainted the character, and that's the sad part. But I think given enough time with a new actress who maybe has a little more experience, could make everyone forget that Cara Dune looked different in 2 seasons, in 3 episodes of The Mandalorian. Right. So I think they should keep that kind of still alive in a way. Maybe she's written out of season 3 and whatever, but before Rangers of the New Republic, maybe they can figure out a way to recast her.
And maybe, like you said, maybe do a comic book or a book or something that details her story, and then they bring her back in an entirely different way in Rangers of the New Republic.
So I'd still like to see that character. it's a shame that they would let that stop what could be a great Star Wars character, a great Star Wars female character,
right?
And a kind of character we haven't seen before, really. So listen to us, Lucasfilm.
All right. Well, Ray Park shared photos of his transformation to Darth Maul from Solo: A Star Wars Story, first sparking rumors that he was returning as the character.
Yeah. So on his Instagram, he posted like pictures of his prosthetics with no context whatsoever. So I think at first I was like, oh my God, is he coming back? Is there going to be a Solo 2? Which is one of the things, people have been clamoring for. And then he started posting that it's from, so then he started adding the hashtag Solo: A Star Wars Story. So it ended up being just some photos he took or that were taken of him during the production of Solo. But still, there's always been like these small snippets of rumor about Ray Park and his involvement with Star Wars.
Yeah.
And there's still this like huge unfinished story from Solo that we've not gotten to.
Right.
The whole story with Kira and Darth Maul and like that whole ending. Like, what now?
Yeah, that is a big question mark that everybody's going to be wondering about.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm hoping that somehow he gets involved with the Lando series. Because if the Lando series takes place after Solo, it could very well include the underground of the Star Wars universe, like Lando, in the time between Solo and Empire, or even the Rebels. Like he's always involved in kind of shady kind of things with different kind of colorful underground characters. So
yeah,
if it's just going to be like a chronicle story of his adventures, he can have so many run-ins with different aspects of the Star Wars underground.
Yeah,
because he didn't just decide to run a gas mining city because he liked it. He conned somebody out of it.
Right.
And I think that'll be a fun kind of thing. If we're not going to get a Solo Chewie show and their adventures, then a Lando series with him just chronicling his many adventures with like the more colorful characters of the Star Wars universe, that could be a good spot to put a Kira story and Darth Maul story. It doesn't have to be like a an ongoing kind of like linear series. It could really just be like every episode or every couple episodes is a different adventure for him. So there's still hope that we'll see what happened to Darth Maul.
I hope so too. So yeah, because he's a great character.
Yep.
All right, so Janina Gavankar, who's an actress and the model for the likeness of Eden Versio, along with Battlefront 2 writers, hinted that the more stories starring the character set in the time of the Mandalorian. So there will be more stories about this character set in the time of the Mandalorian.
One, Gina Gavankar. Two, Iden Versio.
How come there's two?
Janina Gavankar.
Yeah, that's what I said, Janina.
You said something totally different.
Really? If
and
behind the scenes things is that Rich sometimes writes out these things, and I should probably read them in advance. Sometimes I'm like, I'll get caught on a name and then I stumble the entire way. So they're just the behind the scenes thing.
Yeah. So Gina Gavankar, who is the model and voice of Ida Versio from the Battlefront 2 video game. You might also know her from True Blood. And oh man, what was she just in? So Ben Affleck's The Morning Show. She's in The Morning Show with
oh, she is?
Who's in The Morning Show? Is it Jennifer Aniston?
With Jennifer Aniston
and
Reese Witherspoon.
Yeah. On Apple TV.
Yeah, that's a great show.
Yeah, she's in that show. Someone was asking her on Twitter or Instagram about the character, and then she tweeted out to the writers of Battlefront 2 with just the "you want to tell them," and then they started saying some things about it, and it really sounds like they have plans for her character.
Yeah,
because her character, when we meet her character in the books pre Return of the Jedi, and then Battlefront 2 takes place during and after Return of the Jedi. I'm debating whether or not to want to spoil her story, but she survives into the Resistance era, so a little bit pre Force Awakens. So she's around for a while, which means her character is around during The Mandalorian. She's a pilot. Again, I'm trying not to
give away
spoil anything. I mean, it's been a while, so like the story's out there.
Yeah.
But, I feel like not a lot of people probably play the video games and read the book. So if you want to, I would say this. If you don't want to hear what her story is,
stop listening.
Minutes. And then I'll start waving my hands at the camera when you can start listening again.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Okay.
So starting now. All right. So Ida Versio is an Imperial pilot, and actually is her father is like a general in the Imperial Army. She was tasked during Return of the Jedi or pre-Return of the Jedi to find out and infiltrate kind of like all these rebel cells. And her father is a high-ranking general in Empire, right? Eventually, she kind of sees the Empire for what it is and defects.
Right.
And so she becomes a rebel herself. And in the Battlefront 2 game, you go from her being an Imperial to her being a rebel pilot to, working with Princess Leia and whatnot.
That's cool.
Yeah, she's part of what's called Inferno Squad in the Empire, which eventually half of them, well, like a couple of them defect, and she ends up, marrying one of them. They have a kid who's also in the Resistance. Like she's in the Resistance Reborn. Is that the book? Before Rise of Skywalker. But yeah, like that. There's talk that whatever Rangers of New Republic is, that she could fill the role that Gina Carano would have taken.
Yeah.
Plus, Gina obviously looks like her character, so her playing her is a no-brainer because she is her. And she's not a terrible person. Like,
good. That's always a prerequisite.
And again, and if things kind of like play out the way it sounds like sometimes, like having the guy who played Carson Teva, Paul, I can't remember his name.
Wait, where was he from?
The guy from Kim's Convenience. So the Asian pilot from Mandalorian.
Right.
Yeah. The one who gave Cara Dune, the Marshall badge.
Or
whatever. If he's one of the main characters and Janina is one of the main characters, and then it's going to be an Asian-led series.
Nice.
Janina is kind of from Southeast Asia.
Yeah, I'm all for it.
So that would be cool. But yeah, her character is an interesting one because she is an ex-Imperial turned rebel.
Right.
And if you've not played Battlefront 2, for that story alone, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
But so yeah, come back. So yeah, I don't know where her stories may go, if they're hinting at more stories, like if it's going to be more though I don't think they've announced that they're doing any more content for Battlefront 2. Maybe this is a story for Battlefront 3 if they're doing that, or they could be writing comics, or who knows, they could go maybe in lieu of Gina Carano, do something with her character instead. Yeah. Who knows?
Could be books, could be comics.
Yeah.
Yeah. The sky's the limit, really.
Yeah.
With some of these characters, I mean, they announced so many in January that it's such a diverse group of subject matter.
Yeah.
That they could definitely, I mean, there are characters that are constantly popping up on The Mandalorian, and I'm sure they're going to do the same thing with Book of Boba Fett and all the other shows.
Yeah, I have a feeling we'll see her in live action.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
One, she's a great actress. Two, she's also a filmmaker in her own right. And three, she's got the Star Wars cred and geek cred. So she's an all-around talented person who I think her character, if they have no way of really elevating, well, now they don't have a way of elevating Gina Carano and whatever. She'd be a good choice to put into the limelight. In a world where we got Cobb Vanth, who is a character from an interlude in a book, they can definitely bring in a major character from the video games that is part of canon, is around during this time period, not even just the Mandalorian time period, but all the way up to the sequel trilogy. So
yeah, because I'm sure we'll also see that other guy that's in the video games, the popular one with the droid that I love. You know what I'm talking about? The guy that's played by the guy on Gotham, the one that plays the Joker on Gotham.
I'm like, what? Jedi Fallen Order?
Yeah.
He's not a possibility that can come through. We don't know what happens to him. They might be saving him for the sequel to that game, so we don't know where that's going. But there's so many characters even in that story that could translate well to live action. It would be kind of cool.
Yeah. So I just think that they're mining, just like Marvel does with their comic book heroes, and their proclamation that they have over 4,000 characters. I think that's where Lucasfilm is going to start looking toward all of their different things, and hopefully mine them for subjects for future movies and Disney Plus shows.
Yeah, given the response to Ahsoka and Bo-Katan, they got to be looking at that going like, if this like such a great response to those characters, look at the other things you have: books, TV, the books, the video games, comics. It'd be great to kind of see that synergy between all mediums of Lucasfilm, the way Marvel kind of can do. So,
and what's amazing is that they got good response from people who are even not familiar with the characters. Because, like Olivia, my sister, doesn't know these characters, and she liked it. Yeah. She liked them. So,
and I'm pretty sure most of them aren't horrible people.
Right.
People who can play them. Like the people who have played them in different media are not horrible people.
Let's hope for no more horrible people.
Yeah. And I also say, make Ashley Eckstein a character. Even if it's not Ahsoka.
Yeah.
Let's put her somewhere. Put her somewhere. Yeah. It would be awesome to see her in a live action Star Wars or something.
She deserves to be in it.
Yeah. Make her.
All right.
Make her Imperial.
Yeah. All right. So Star Wars Republic Commando is going to be re-released on Nintendo Switch.
Yeah. So Star Wars Republic Commando was a game that came out when Attack of the Clones came out. Around there. It's basically you play a group of clone troopers. They were featured in the Clone Wars cartoon at some point. But it's a fun game. Like I remember playing it, really liking it. So if they obviously it's an old game. So
yeah.
But Nintendo Switch isn't known to be like competing with like the PlayStation 5 and whatever. It is what it is, and it's a good medium, I think, for it. They can obviously update the graphics a little bit, but it's a fun game. Like I would totally get it for the Switch. I think it's a fun game to play. I don't know if they might throw in like multiplayer aspects, like co-op. That'd be kind of cool in it. So yeah, it's part of the whole the rights to Star Wars games kind of has been lifted from just exclusive to EA, so it's good to have a little more diversity in games again, with a little bit more kind of like that Marvel Studios control kind of thing. So it's not just willy-nilly like it used to be.
Yeah.
Right on.
Very cool. All right. So Zynga, am I pronouncing that right? Okay. Known for their mobile games like Words with Friends, Words with Friends, and Draw Something, will be releasing Star Wars Hunters for the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
I know nothing.
Have you never played Words with Friends? It wasn't. It was like a mobile game. It was just like,
really?
I can't remember, but Draw Something was kind of similar. It was like you would send your friend, you start drawing something, and your friend have to guess what it is. This is maybe like 5 years ago. These games were when mobile games were kind of in this infancy.
That actually sounds kind of fun.
Yeah, but that's what they were known for in the beginning.
I see.
But Star Wars Hunters, so there was a Nintendo had like their own kind of like mini announcement type, like almost like a earnings call kind of thing. And they showed a little clip from this game called Star Wars Hunters. Not a lot is known. It looks to be like an arena battle kind of thing, because they showed like you're in. It looks like Jabba's palace.
Yeah.
But with a whole bunch of characters who don't look familiar. But there's like a Jedi and like weird creature hunter, like bounty hunter-y kind of thing. So not a lot is known about what it is.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It looks kind of cool, and I feel like they're on this like big bounty hunter kind of kick because of Boba Fett.
Right.
The Mandalorian and stuff. So hopefully they don't flood the Star Wars universe with like bounty hunters.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like it looks, they're not known for like deep, rich games. So this might be more of a kid friendlier ish kind of thing, like an easy, casual game. Doesn't probably require a lot of overthinking and like deep mechanics and whatever. So
yeah,
which because it's on the Nintendo Switch, kind of tells you that's probably what it's going to be. Something very easy and casual for players.
Yeah. All right. Well, moving on to publishing news, Marvel has announced a new Boba Fett series entitled War of the Bounty Hunters. The series will be helmed by Charles Soule, who has written a lot of Star Wars stuff, including the new High Republic book, right? I mean, one of them.
He's the one writing Light of Jedi. And before that, he was on, the Vader comic?
Yeah, the version. Yeah, I think the Vader comic.
Yeah.
Anyway, it'll basically put Boba Fett up against the biggest bounty hunters in the galaxy.
Yeah, it takes place right after Empire Strikes Back.
Okay.
So they're hinting that you'll see the big names bounty hunters at the time: IG-88, Bosk, Dengar, Forlom, Succus.
Yeah, Oracing would have to be one of them because she was part. Huh?
No.
Oh, did she die?
Yeah.
That's what
Woody Harrelson told us.
Woody Harrelson told us Oracing dies.
In Solo, Beckett says something about Oracing.
Right. Okay.
And it sounded like he killed her. So
I thought you meant the actor.
Yeah.
It's like, that's random. Oh yeah. Okay. So then
Oracing would probably not, but there are still a lot of ones from also Clone Wars that can pop up there, especially since Boba Fett in the Clone Wars does have a history with a lot of the bounty hunters.
Cad Bane. Yeah.
Hondo could pop up, possibly. But yeah, there's a whole bunch of other bounty hunters that kind of were created for the Clone Wars and was associated with Boba Fett.
Did Asajj Ventress die? I forgot.
I could say.
Well, okay. If she didn't, I think that she could also be in this because she was part of that gang that Boba Fett was part of.
Yeah, at one point she was part of that. So
let's just imagine she was. She is. I want her to be alive.
But yeah, it looks to be like a limited series that just tells a story of. I'm imagining this because Han Solo is probably one of the biggest bounties in the galaxy. Kind of like in the beginning of the Mandalorian, where Grief Karga's telling Din Djarin everyone respects you or whatever, but really you can tell that they're because he's getting all the good bounties and whatever, and he's the best of the best. I think similar with Boba Fett. I think he now has the biggest bounty in his cargo hold, and I feel like everyone's going to be out to get him, especially since from that scene on the Vader's ship where he's got all those bounty hunters, and he pretty much has them all go out to go find Han Solo, but Boba Fett's the one who caught him first. So, if anything, I feel like those ones will definitely be in the series because we know they are hunting for Han Solo. So which would be cool to see, in canon what happens between Bosk and Dengar and IG-88 and Zuckuss and Forlom, who were the original bounty hunters.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so in collector news, Hasbro is stopping further production of Cara Dune 6 figures, except for the retro line.
So that's 6-inch figures. And the vintage collection, which is right now the normal kind of like 3 3/4 line. But there's a retro line that makes everything look like they're from the 80s or the 70s.
Yeah.
That one's still okay for now.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But yeah, they've pretty much stopped production on all the other Cara Dune ones. So luckily,
which is ironic because
both. So I'm good. I have both versions. I have the both 6-inch and the 3 3/4 version. In fact, I was looking at like Walmart today, and they have her figure on, oddly enough, on clearance. Even though now people are like clamoring for her figure, so it was on sale for $2 at Walmart.
Wow!
If you can find it, there's not delivering, so you have to go to an actual Walmart to get her.
Yeah. Well, it seems like for a while the shelves were full of Cara Dune.
As soon as, like, it's funny because like when her figure first came out, I couldn't find her at all, and then they kind of did another release of her, and that's when her tweets started popping up, and then all of a sudden you find her everywhere. But now that they've stopped, like now there's some collectors who are now looking to snatch up all those figures because they probably will never ever release another, unless they recast the character. This likeness of her, I think they're never ever going to do. The Gina Carano version of Cara Dune is pretty much done. So
I wouldn't want one right now. I mean, it's too tainted.
I mean, like, she's behind me. And she's in the Millennium Falcon right now, or whatever. But again, like it's Cara Dune, it's not Gina Carano. But I understand, it's her likeness, which is why I think the retro line is being kept alive, because the retro line looks nothing
like her.
Yeah, because it's like the old Mattel 70s figures. Like they vaguely resemble anything. Right?
Yeah.
Even like Luke Skywalker. If you look at Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, and Princess Leia from those lines, they don't look like Mark Hamill. Like even like Mark Hamill's like, I don't have blonde hair.
Yeah. So funny.
So it just looks like 2 eyes and a smiley face. So it's like, could be whatever. But definitely, the other ones kind of look like her. So again, it's a shame because the character was a great character. But yeah, it's I imagine all of them be bought up and then be sold for who knows how much to people who are like anti Gina Carano.
All right. Well, there is a rumor that the next Hasbro Black Series Force FX Elite lightsaber will be raised from the end of Rise of Skywalker, which is pretty cool. I know that a lot of people who want that lightsaber.
So the difference between all the lightsabers out. So there's the Galaxy's Edge versions. There's the Legacy versions, and then there's the new kind of Black Series Force Effects Elite versions. The Hasbro Force Effects Elite versions kind of have a little more features than the other ones, and they're also more expensive. Like they're the ones that have. Like the Kylo Ren version is a lot more expensive because it has a little more effects.
Like how much?
It's over $200 for them, where normally it's $150. Emperor Palpatine's is like 200 something bucks. But it has like, again, effects, not just like light up and whatever, but that has like force lightning effects and whatever. Though they just released, well, I mean, they have released on pre-order the Darksaber.
Yeah.
Which I have on pre-order, but will not get until like August, I think, maybe.
Yeah.
So the rumor is the next one is going to be Rey's, because, which kind of makes sense because it does have a kind of a special effect, because if you look closely when she ignites it, there's a little piece of it where you can kind of see through. Before it ignites, you can see the color change from like blue to green to yellow. So I think that's what it's going to do, is like there's some kind of like color changing effect before it lights up, I guess.
Yeah.
But otherwise, they're well made, and then the blades are removable.
Right.
I don't think they're all interchangeable though, between like the Galaxy's Edge ones and the Hasbro ones.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's one of the ones people are clamoring for. So I would probably get it.
Right.
I mean,
yeah.
You don't really have to twist my arm to get a lightsaber. So.
I know. I was going to say, and it's I mean, it is a pretty awesome lightsaber.
Yeah. I'm just hoping that we get Leia's at some point.
I know. That would be nice.
That'd be a nice one to sell at Galaxy's Edge, I think, as a legacy.
Right.
Because then you would have Luke's, you would have Ben Solo's, and then you can have Leia's.
Yeah.
There. So.
That would be awesome.
Yarp.
All right. Well, Star Wars has won 5 Toy of the Year awards. So it's gotten Toy of the Year, which was a Child Interactive Edition, Innovative Toy of the Year, which is, again, the Child Interactive Edition, Construction Toy of the Year, Lego Razor Crest, Plush Toy of the Year, the Child 11-inch plush, and License of the Year, you guessed it, Star Wars.
My Little Pony.
Oh. I know, exactly. Boy, all of the Star Wars awards are for The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you could tell how much it shaped culture. And, I mean, like, you go into that store that you went into, the Trading Post, and they've got a whole section on.
There's multiple sections of the Child.
The Child.
What's funny is like it's still the Child. They haven't switched over to Grogu yet.
I know.
I feel by like season 3 it'll be Grogu,
right?
And Grogu that, but like, yeah, like I don't. It doesn't surprise me. Last year. I don't remember all of them, but I do remember that it was actually Toy Story 4 figures that won like best line of the year or something like that. So.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, cool. Like it's all Mandalorian. Like,
all Mandalorian all the time.
All Grogu, and then the Razor Crest. Which I'm curious about the other construction toys that are nominated. Like, who else is there besides Lego?
Yeah.
But yeah, I
don't know, like Build-A-Block or
Mega Blocks, right? I don't know.
Yeah, Mega Blocks. I don't know.
If because honestly, if they didn't release the Razor Crest on Hasbro Labs, I probably would have gotten the Lego one, because I really do like that shit. Even though we know what happens to it, but like, so what?
Yeah.
There's because it met its demise. Doesn't mean it's not still a cool ship.
Right.
So.
Yeah. That's awesome.
I mean, like I said, Jabba's sail barge blew up. And that was the first HasLabs thing. So it's not like there's no precedent. I think it's just funny that the 3 major HasLab toys that I know of, Jabba's sail barge, the Razor Crest, and Unicron from Transformers, all 3 of them blew up. So
that's true.
People who are like surprised with the Razor Crest, I'm like, the first 2 blew up. Why aren't you upset like them? Like,
yeah.
because it's still a cool ship. It's still like Unicron's a cool looking transformer. It's huge, but oh my god, it looks cool.
Yeah, I can imagine.
The Razor Crest looks like, just from what they've shown, looks amazing, and it'll be behind me at some
That'll
point
be awesome
in the fall.
Right.
Yeah, I'll definitely do a opening of that one. So
yeah, definitely. I think a lot of people will be excited because that's a very limited series.
I know.
Yeah.
I still kick myself for not getting the katana, which is Jabba's sail barge.
Yeah.
Just because, I mean, like, in reality, I don't know where I would put it. Even now, I don't know where to put it. But because it's like 4 feet long, but it's like one of those things. It's like that toy, and my childhood in the 80s, the USS Flag from G.I. Joe. Like, that was the other toy that I wanted so badly. But like, let's be realistic. We're going to put a 4-foot aircraft carrier.
Like, that thing was huge.
Yeah. But if they resold it, I'll totally buy it. Just because I could.
Right. All right. Well, we have come to the end of our episode. Leave a comment below on what your favorite story was today. Be sure to subscribe to our channel, hit the bell for notifications, and do like this post. It really helps us out. Be sure to share our post with your family and friends. Write us at podcast@Castle Capes and Clones. We'd love to get your feedback, good or bad. You can reach me personally on Twitter @LowJav and on Instagram @Loren Javier. How about you, Rich?
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter @R2Romasanta.
All right. Well, the opinions expressed on today's podcast are solely our own and do not represent the Walt Disney Company, its subsidiaries, or assets. Thanks so much for joining us, and we will see you later. Bye.
Yep. May the force be with you.